Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It's nice to see you, albeit in this, continuing virtual environment. My name is Jim Frankel. I am the founder and director of MusicFirst, and I'm very, very excited to introduce you to Newzik this evening, and my dear friend Aurelia, who I'll be turning everything over to in a moment. And we have a whole bunch of our MusicFirst staff here as well. Before we get started, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background information about how this whole thing came to be. So I met Aurelia years ago, actually, when she was working with our parent company, a huge music publisher, many classical imprints. And I was aware of what Newzik was doing with orchestras in the digital space and completely blown away by their kind of rethinking the idea of distribution of music to orchestras and the way that they could curate their music, they could write on their music, they can share their music. Really fascinated by what they were doing. But I was always thinking in the back of my mind, one day, I'm sure we're going to figure a way for Newzik and MusicFirst to work together. So again, previously or up until now, Newzik has been primarily, or at least from my perspective, primarily in that orchestral classical space with professional orchestras. And then as soon as Aurelia and I met probably almost a year ago, I think, about Newzik getting into education, I said, all right, we have to work together because I'm such a huge fan of the technology. And so what you're going to see tonight, and I'm not going to steal any of Aurelia's thunder, is what I think is the most perfect addition to the MusicFirst Classroom setup, especially for music teachers who are dealing with sheet music. And, thinking back to my days as a middle school band director, kind of keeping all that sheet music in a closet somewhere. And then when it was time to give it out to the students, hoping that, okay, maybe I'll make a photocopy of this because if I give them the original, they'll lose it. So I'm going to get those photocopies. Every other teacher in my building couldn't stand me because I basically hit the green button on the photocopier all day long. Basically from the very first day of school until about 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the school year, I was at the photocopier every day. So, with all that in mind, and of course, with the impact of COVID and the hybrid and we can't wait to get back to the classroom, the idea of distributing music and sharing it with students to do all types of assessment is really exciting. So it's an application that has many possibilities. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my good friend Aurelia, all the way from Paris, France this evening. So she stayed up really late, way later than most music teachers can stay up. So Aurelia, thank you so much. You have a beautiful Parisian apartment. We can't wait to hear from you. So take it away and I'll be quiet.
Oh, thank you so much. What an intro. Thank you, everyone. I'm very happy to be able to communicate with all of you and at the end of the demonstration, hear your question and try to answer them. As Jim said, we started 7 years ago from France, building a cloud-based platform for groups, music ensembles, professional musicians, and we had a great traction from performing ensembles. But we realized that the PDF ecosystem and the fact of organizing, sharing PDF files was really needed for the educational world. So we made like a survey and we understood that within our large database of users, 40% of them were teachers, but we just didn't realize it. And that was a great surprise to see how the system that we've built and designed was used in a different way that we have expected. So that's really how we started approaching Jim and exchanging and discussing, brainstorming on how to make a great solution for a teacher to organize sheet music and then share it with the students. So I'll be happy, yes, to show you the main like values of the product and then to show you a little video of what it looks like. So The first thing is that with Newzik, you are able to create exercises with your own personal library, with your own PDF files, and combine and enrich your music with YouTube links, MP3, MIDI files, and all the media files you wish, so that your students will be able to have both the music display and the music content, and they will be able to record themselves. So that's the main key value of the system, is to be able to record while viewing the music. And I think it's very valuable, for instance, when you have a music with a full score and the other parts, and the student would like to consult the full score just in case, to understand and to have the big picture of the music. The second value of Newzik Education is for your personal use. Really, it's your tool, meaning that you can create set lists, you can import an unlimited number of files, you can combine your different parts within the same folder of piece, and you can really structure your digital library the way you wish. And that's really great, and I'll show you how it works. Then on the top of the enrichment of the music, you can add comments, you can add feedbacks, but really you can just address the feedback at the top of the measure, at the top of the bar, and be very specific with what you want to emphasize to your students. The embed video, we've just mentioned it. And that's the cherry on the cake, the last but not least, the one more thing, that's the conversion from a PDF file to music XML. So right now I will show you a first video of what's now within the software, and I'll show you a second video of what's next very soon, in a couple of weeks. So let's go. So I'm just commenting it. If you hear me well, right, with the music, that's okay. So Newzik is integrated into MusicFirst Classroom. As usual, you just assign a task, the grades. But once you create the task, you have a very smooth workflow where you can directly open into your Newzik account and then import your PDFs. So let's say I want to import 2 parts and group them. I'll rename it properly so that it's stored and I can start building my library. I write down the composer, and here it is. So as I told you before, you can upload files. In that case, that's the MP3 that you can play. Hallelujah. And then you can add comments, add colors. Let's say you want to put some comments on the specific information. You put the green or the red, you can play with that, and then you confirm the task. That's it. It's very simple to use. As a student, you open the task, you read the information you've shared to him or her. You can stop the music and you can record, use the counting and the metronome, and start the recording. But it wasn't me. So once it's done, the student can rename his file and click on submit. It's really, really simple. The workflow is really integrated, and your turn to see the student's work. You have like a viewer mode, so you cannot do any action. You can view and enjoy the recording. And 100 out of 100, which is obvious. So that's the first part. that you can explore it like right after this session with free trials, and you can use it and start importing your own PDF files. We have also created for you resource section so that you can import PDFs that don't belong to you, but just to explore. Please do feel free to do that. And I really hope you're going to enjoy it. And we're very flexible and open, and we would love to improve things that you would like to see in the product. And we're in great communication with all the MusicFirst team. So please feel free to contribute to building a better solution. We build it for you. Second video. So just to give an introduction before clicking on play, can we just see this first slide of the video if it's possible? It's a black screen. Yes, perfect. James, what do you think? Shall we answer the question before the second video or right after?
I'll answer it right now. So Joe, you asked about students recording video in it or just audio. At the moment, it's just audio that the students can record. But that said, the idea of bringing in outside videos like YouTube so that students can see the music, hear the music, watch a performance of it. But yeah, at the moment, Aurelia, correct me if I'm wrong, the students won't be recording video, they'll just be recording audio.
But the student can add either a YouTube link, even a private one, or an MP4. So it's just a matter of making the recording outside of Newzik and then just clicking on plus import video. So
very good. So they can make their own videos and submit those. Definitely. Oh, that's fantastic. Excellent.
Definitely. Is there any other question on the yeah, do you need to create this?
So Jenna, no, you can create a generic task and the students can go in and so I think, Aurelia, you can assign a score, correct? And then the parts are accessible to the students?
Definitely. If we can go back, is it possible, Rachel, just to go back to the beginning of the video? As you can see, we have selected two parts. We could have selected multiple parts plus the full score, and then the student will just switch the part and open the one that is assigned to. So it's better for you because you just have to create a masterpiece. And then as a student, I just open the part that corresponds to my instrument. So it's one piece for all the students.
Right, rather than 17 individual, tasks, Jenna. I know exactly why you're asking that question. So it's very similar to the generic task that's in Practice First, or our current audio task. What I love about this is that in the current MusicFirst Classroom audio task, one of the biggest disadvantages is to put a piece of music in here, you can, but the students can't see the music and the recorder at the same time. So they're scrolling all over. And if they're on a phone, it's not a really viable option. So yeah, there you go. You can bring the whole score in and have them select the part.
Yeah. So that's, let's see just the view. Yeah, so you can see A and B. As a student, you can just select the one that belongs to your instrument. Thank you, Rachel. Is there any other question, like specific question on the workflow, on the recording, the videos? Okay, so let's jump to the second video. And I just want to introduce that this corresponds to 3 years of hard work of a researcher team in France, working on deep learning and artificial intelligence. In the video, I just import a PDF file. And then I click on Start Optical Music Recognition. After waiting a few minutes, I just have Thank you. If we can just pause the video for a second, thank you very much. I really have to say that this has not been edited. That's really the MIDI output out of the PDF processed with our technology.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Thank you. We want to commit to have more than 90% accuracy on the PDF that is OMRized, because the technology stands on new like standards and artificial intelligence and deep learning. Our curve of improvement is huge. So once we train the pieces to be understood by the machine, once we receive feedback and then improve the potential errors, the improvements are perceived like 1 week after the other. It's crazy. So yeah, I use another program that currently does this and converts PDF to XML, but it can only use PDF created by music software. It cannot take sheet music. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so exciting about this. Like the first time I saw that, a regular PDF right off the shelf, you bring it in and it plays it. That's just ridiculously cool. Sorry, I'll be quiet. That's exciting.
No, thank you. Yes, that's really crazy. There's a kind of magic behind this, really, because it's like the music is like played. It's a live music, and obviously, and we can talk about it afterwards. There are some requirements on the music. If it's a very badly poor scan, the result will not be as high as expected. But if your scan is a proper scan with like a nice screenshot of the music, then the result is really, really impressive. So if we continue the video, MIDI generation is great because it can enable a student to just play along with the music. But as a teacher, you can explore the music XML, and then it's a world of possibilities. So in this case, we took the example of just extracting a part into a notation software, but you can use it to make transposition, you can rearrange, you can correct potential mistakes, and then re-import it as a PDF. If you're satisfied with the output, you can use it in MusicFirst and enrich your library with your own personal content, which is great. And in that case, I just re-export the PDF with just one staff, like one instrument for my specific student. So to summarize, this is called Maestria, IA, for artificial intelligence in French. It's like deep learning. We worked a lot on that. It will be available in May. You are the first ones to be aware of that, so it's exclusive, and you will be the first one to test it and use it and explore it and enjoy it and share this with us. So we're very excited about that. If you have any questions on how it works, I'll be happy to answer them.
If I may, Aurelia, what I love about this, it's $2, Joe, $2. I know that Rachel has that later, but what I love about the workflow that I have in mind for this is that, hey, I've got this massive library that I've been using with my kids. And wow, does it take a long time to type all that out into Noteflight, into Flat, or any other notation program? Wait a minute, I can scan this, bring it directly in, I can play it, and then I can bring it into programs like MusicFirst, like Flat. To me, the workflow would be, I import my PDF into Newzik. I then in Newzik get Maestria, which I love, that's awesome. I convert it to XML, and then I do a little tweaking in either Noteflight or Flat just to see, just so everyone knows, there is no such thing as 100% accuracy. But in my opinion, Newzik is as close to it as, it's much better than the other products I've used. And it's as close to 100 as you can. So it's really minor tweaking in Noteflight and Flat if you need to. The clearer the PDF, the less you're going to tweak. But then once you've got it there, it can go into MusicFirst. If it comes in beautifully. You don't need to tweak it. You can import it directly into PracticeFirst. And now you've expanded your library tremendously of the music that you can have your students be assessed on. So I'll be quiet because I go ahead and.
I see a question, and I'm not sure I mentioned it. Yes, Jenna, you can play back only one specific part. So when we will release in May the OMR, you'll be able to see the different tracks, the different MIDI tracks, and then to mute one track or to like slow down or transpose. You'll be able to manipulate each track separately, and so that you can just play along with the rest of the instruments.
Great. So shall we talk about these integrations, Aurelia?
Sorry?
Shall we talk about these integrations? I mean, we basically gave a little bit of an overview. But yeah, so the learning management system of MusicFirst Classroom, it's integrated already. It works right now. The OMR is coming in May, as Aurelia said. So if you already signed up for a trial, you might say, well, hey, where is that OMR thing? That's coming. The folks in Paris are still working to make sure it's as good as it possibly can be when you finally get your hands on it. But that practice assessment, remember that NoteFlight has SoundCheck. So here you go. If you're a NoteFlight SoundCheck user, amazing technology, the same technology that we use with PracticeFirst. You open it in NoteFlight, do a little bit of tweaking and click send or open in SoundCheck. Voila, you're all set. Did you like that? I thought that was good. And then you also have the ability to bring these converted XML files into your digital audio workstations. Like Soundtrap, like Soundation, or any other program that you might be using, things like GarageBand, Mixcraft, Logic, things like that. So to us, it's not just a one-trick pony. It is this bridge between an existing library that you have, an existing PDF library, and really the possibilities are endless, in my humble opinion. I'm very excited about this product.
Thank you, James. From my end, I like the LMS is purely integrated. Pricing, yes, it's the next slide. Do you want to comment on it, Jim, or?
Yeah, so the price is $2 per user per year. We are doing a really cool thing once the OMR thing comes out, and that's when it's going to be very exciting. We'll do it for $1 per year for 6 months, so that you can have it at $1 a user. That's not a big investment. And to be clear, the OMR would be something that you as the teacher would be the primary user of. The students don't need to scan music. You're going to be scanning the music. The students will be using the audio recorder, the media embeds, as well as reaping the benefits of seeing that converted music in things like PracticeFirst, SoundCheck, and any other program. So it is $2 per user per year for the full year. $1 will be a special that will probably run till the end of May. But the pricing here that Rachel has listed, you're looking at $4 a year for the MusicFirst Classroom on its own, and there's a ton of stuff in that. Then another $4 for PracticeFirst. And then if you wanted to add Newzik, now you're at $10. And you have basically, everything you need to do music assessment with your band, your choir, your orchestra, your guitar ensemble, your mariachi groups, whatever it is, handbells even. Adding things like Flat and NoteFlight, they're both $2. So now you're at $12 a user. If you add SoundCheck, you have to decide, do I want SoundCheck or PracticeFirst? We're going to be unveiling an incredible bundle that puts them both together at a tremendous savings. And then you have the digital audio workstations. So don't let those prices, what we do at MusicFirst, which I think is really unique, is we custom tailor the solution to your music program, to what you need. So don't look at this and go, oh my God, if I add all that up, it's $20. That's not the way it works. It's basically the MusicFirst Classroom, Newzik, now you're at $6. I want to add PracticeFirst, now you're at $10. That's how it works. Custom pricing for every single school with a 50 user minimum. So that's the pricing. We'd be happy to entertain any other questions that you might have on pricing. If not, Rachel, if you want to. Right, so we're excited about this, right? And so let's let's logistically, we know that this year is insane. If you have a concert coming up, God bless you. You're a very lucky human being in many ways. But this is a perfect time to take this for a test spin. So whether you want to start it right now, today, you can go right to musicfirst.com and get a free trial. You can look up on our software page, the Newzik application, read all about it, get a trial from there, and we will add it to your existing account. So suddenly you'll see this wonderful little orange Newzik logo in your software drop-down menu. If you want to wait for the OMR, you can, but I don't think you need to. I think you can get the application now, and then when May 10th rolls around, right? That's less than a month. We're around May 10th, no guarantee, but that's around the target that we're hoping to get it to you. You can add that OMR, because again, the students aren't going to be using that, you are. So you could start your trial whenever you want. I think it's the perfect time of year to take it for a test spin, and then consider adding it to your account for the fall. Any other questions before we wrap things up? Well, Aurelia, I think, as they say in French, bonne nuit. And I am very, very excited about this. I hope everyone else is. We just see it as this perfect kind of onboarding of all the music that you already have in your library into this MusicFirst environment through this great program called Newzik. So hats off to you and your team, Aurelia. You've done a fabulous job, and we hope that you're all as excited as we are. Any questions, you can always email us, and we'll get those questions on to Aurelia if it's really in the weeds. But thank you all very much for joining us this evening. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a little bit. And I hope the rest of your school year goes as smoothly as possible. Take care, everybody. Thanks again, Aurelia. Thanks, Rachel. Thank you, everyone, for taking time.
Bye.